Hello, in this video we're going to look at long-run average cost and try to determine whether economies and diseconomies of scale are present. Here is a firm's long-run average cost equation. And we want to know, does this firm experience economies of scale? So the first thing we're going to do is going to find the slope of long-run average cost. So to find the slope, we're going to take the derivative of the long-run average cost equation with respect to Q, quantity of output. So here's a derivative. The derivative of 660 is a constant, that's 0. Derivative of minus 10Q is just minus 10. And the derivative of this last term here is going to be bring the 2 down in front, so 2 times 0.05 is 0.1. And then on this exponent here, we're going to subtract 1 from it, leaving just Q raised to the power of 1, or just Q. So this is the slope equation for long-run average cost. We want to find where the slope is 0. So we're going to take our slope equation and set it equal to 0 and solve for Q. So adding 10 to both sides and then dividing through by 0.1. Q equals 100. So this is going to be the point where long-run average cost is minimized. We're at the lowest point on the long-run average cost curve when output equals 100. If Q is less than 100, long-run average cost has a negative slope, and this would be consistent with economies of scale. So take our slope equation that we found from the last slide, and for example, if Q is 90, we plug that into our slope equation and we get minus 1. So at Q equals 90, the slope of the long-run average cost curve is minus 1. So this means we're dealing with economies of scale. So anytime Q is less than our minimum point on the long-run average cost, and our minimum point was Q equals 100, we're going to be dealing with economies of scale. On the other hand, if the output is greater than our minimum point, if Q is greater than 100, long-run average cost, in this case, will have a positive slope, and now we're dealing with diseconomies of scale. So for example, if Q equals 110, plug 110 into our slope of the long-run average cost equation, the derivative result, and here we get plus 1. And here is the long-run average cost curve, what it looks like. It's U-shaped. We found the minimum point here. When the slope is 0, we have a horizontal line right here where Q equals 100. Points to the left of that, at output less than 100, we have a negative slope, or economies of scale. Points to the right of 100, output greater than 100, the slope is positive. That's where we have diseconomies of scale. And just to sum up, economies of scale is a situation in which average cost falls with increased output because firms adopt large-scale production methods. And diseconomies of scale is a situation in which average cost rises with increased output because of the disadvantages associated with large-scale production methods. Okay, I hope you found this video helpful.